My name's Caroline Beckett, and I'm the Vicar of Brightlingsea, and I'm currently working from home.
My name's Andy Griffiths. I train people for the Diocese of Chelmsford, and I have just cut my own hair and it didn't go very well.
Oh, well, not a problem I have, Andy. And this is a few minutes about listening, because the Vacancy in C committee need your help.
The vacancy in what?
In C, S-E-E. And a C is just the area that a bishop is responsible for. And so this is the committee that is looking for a new bishop. And right now they're looking for two things, and there are 4 ways that you can help them find answers to their questions.
Okay, so let's start with the what. What are the 2 things that the Vacancy in C committee are looking for?
Well, they're looking for answers, and they're looking for faces. Answers from as many people as possible to the set of questions that should be appearing on your screen. And they'd like those in writing, please. And if you've listened to lots of people, you can just summarise the main things that you've heard. So don't send complete transcripts, please.
Okay, and they're looking for faces. What does that mean?
So I wonder if there's someone in your community who has a particularly good story to tell or thing to say about life in the Diocese of Chelmsford, and whose face and voice it might be really good to include in the material that the Vacancy in C committee are putting together. And if so, why not record a 30-second clip of them? No more than that, please, and send it as a link on your email when you email your comments in. Obviously, you'll need to get their consent beforehand. And in any case, the Vacancy in C committee won't use anything without getting back in touch with you and with the face concerned to check that they're happy for what they say to be used in that way.
Right, so that's the 2 things that the Vacancy in C committee are looking for. Now, the 4 ways that you can help. Number 1, you can just send an email from you about what you think.
What, in general, about bishops?
No, in particular about these 6 questions on your screen now, which can also be found on the diocesan website.
Number 2, you can share this information with some other people and you can ask them to do the same. The more the merrier. Do note, though, that there'll be separate guidelines about children and young people. We do want their views, but this particular video is about listening to adults. Is that clear?
That's very clear. So we've reached 3. Why not have a conversation with someone by phone or over the back fence or whatever, and note down what they say and send it? Especially people who aren't online, because this consultation ends on the 4th of July. And if we're not careful, we won't hear anything from people not online at all. And there's something deeper here. Yes, this is all about appointing a new bishop, but curious listening is about so much more than that. It links with contemplation and with finding leaders and with appreciating your community. People are worth listening to because they're made in the image of God. So there are no boring people as long as we found the right question to ask to discover how interesting they are.
And here's the last way you can help. You can hold a house meeting.
Now, a house meeting is a term from community organising. It's a way of holding a conversation between you and another, let's say, between 3 and 7 people. Obviously, at the moment, you can't hold a house meeting in a house.
Obviously. So we suggest Zoom as an easy way to have them, or there are other platforms you can use. And all you do is find a time to meet and invite 3 to 7 people to join. Send them a link to the 6 questions in advance and ask them to think and pray about them. And maybe have a chat with others about them in advance too. Ask someone to be the note taker, but tell them it's not like minutes. All we want is a couple of sentences about each question to send to the Vacancy in C committee.
Start the Zoom call or whatever it is. Maybe start with a prayer. And then you go around and you ask each person how they are today and how they'd answer the first question in a minute. Tell us what you value most about the Church of England in your community, as well as across Essex and East London. You're going to have to be pretty brutal with your timings, I'm afraid, because otherwise some people will talk for hours and others won't have their say.
And then maybe for the second and third questions, that can be a general discussion, but make sure that neither gets more than 5 minutes and no one gets to dominate the conversation. But be on the lookout for the great stories. Those are the people who maybe have the faces that can be put in contact with the team to have clips included in the final material.
And then maybe you'll go around the circle for the fourth question and have a general discussion about the fifth and the sixth. But look, you do realize we're making this up as we go along. We don't really care which questions you go around the circle with and which you have a general discussion about. All we're doing is suggesting that you should use one method for some of the questions and the other for the others. The whole conversation should be done in not much more than half an hour.
And as a matter of fact, if you're using Zoom, you most likely can't go over 40 minutes. So who should I invite to my house meeting? The PCC?
Well, that's up to you. A couple of PCC members, maybe, that would be great. But try to be broadly representative of your community. If everyone in the house meeting is a man, or everyone's South Asian, or everyone's under 40, or everyone's on PCC, I guess that isn't a representative gathering. But you'd already thought of that.
And of course, there's no rule against having 2 house meetings and sending the Vacancy and C Committee the results of each of them.
So that's 2 things we're seeking, answers in email form to nextbishop@chelmsford.anglican.org. That's nextbishop@chelmsford.anglican.org, and faces on video clips. And 4 ways to help. Send your own response, share this material, have conversations with people who aren't online, and hold some online house meetings.
We look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for listening.